This audiobook reveals the ancient secret of metaphysical affirmations, where your thoughts become the currents that shape your reality. As you listen, you'll learn to align with the frequency of your desires, speaking from a place of knowing rather than asking. Step into the power of conscious creation and watch the universe mirror your inner truth. Metaphysical Affirmations. Introduction. In the secret sanctuaries of your mind, where spirit and science entwine like eternal dancers, a truth as ancient as creation itself awaits your discovery. Metaphysical prayer, the sacred art of the sages, transcends ordinary asking. It is not a cry of need, but a song of knowing. Long before Tesla revealed the universe's symphony of frequencies, the mystics understood this law. Every thought, every feeling, every intention vibrates through the infinite with perfect precision. Your consciousness is not a passive witness, but a luminous transmitter, sending waves into the boundless field of potential. True metaphysical prayer does not petition the world. It harmonizes you with what already exists in the unseen realm. Like a radio attuned to a hidden frequency, your mind and soul can tune to the reality you wish to embody. In this sacred alignment, prayer becomes proclamation. It is gratitude spoken as if already fulfilled, a resonance of completion rather than longing. The masters of old never begged. They simply became the vibration of their desires, their every thought and feeling a declaration of the reality already present. Here, in this exalted state of knowing, your words carry the weight of fulfillment. Your emotions hum with abundance. The universe, ever a perfect mirror of consciousness, reflects back only what you transmit. When you radiate the frequency of completion, the world rearranges itself to echo your inner truth. Before we get into the book, comment, "I am ready," to affirm your intention to the universe. Part 1. The Awakening of Energy. Chapter 1. The Invisible Engine of Thought. In a small apartment overlooking the city lights, Millie sat at her desk, surrounded by Tesla's writings. Her fingers traced the words that would forever alter her understanding. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Each morning, she noticed how her thoughts seemed to paint her day. When worry flickered through her mind about being late, traffic snarled. When gratitude filled her heart for her morning coffee, unexpected pleasures arrived. These moments weren't coincidence. They were currents flowing from her mind into the fabric of reality. The ancient wisdom speaks of this truth. Your thoughts are living currents, each one carrying its own electrical signature into the universe. Like a radio tower broadcasting into the infinite, you transmit frequencies that shape the world around you. The universe, in its perfect resonance, can only reflect back the signal you send. When your thoughts align with the frequency of the divine, that pure current of love, abundance, and peace, manifestation becomes as natural as breathing. You need not force or strain. The universe responds not to your words, but to the electrical impulse of your deepest convictions. A sage once shared this truth with Millie. A merchant named Rumi spent years shouting his wishes to the heavens until one day he discovered the power of silence. In the quiet spaces between thoughts, he found a golden hum, the very frequency of his desires. His transformation began not with asking, but with becoming still enough to tune to what he sought. This tale mirrors your own journey. In moments of mental quiet, when the static of doubt clears, you access the pure current of creation. Like Millie, you'll discover that manifestation flows most powerfully not from constant thinking, but from aligning with the frequency of your desires. Practice the Golden Current Meditation. As the sun rises each morning, find a quiet space. Close your eyes and bring to mind your most radiant thought, a thought that makes your whole being smile. Feel it as an electric current, golden and warm, flowing through every cell. Let this frequency fill your entire field until you become the vibration itself. There's no need to form words or make requests. Simply be the frequency you wish to experience. Maintain this state for several minutes, allowing yourself to become a pure channel for this divine current. In this practice lies the key to masterful manifestation, not through force, but through frequency. Chapter 2. The Light Within the Circuit. Long ago in a quiet village, a woman named Clara inherited an antique brass lamp from her grandmother. For weeks she polished and cleaned it, changed its oil, and tried repeatedly to ignite its flame. No matter how vigorously she worked, the lamp remained dark. One evening, as moonlight streamed through her window, she noticed something peculiar. The filament wasn't broken, as she'd assumed, but slightly misaligned. With gentle fingers, she adjusted it until it settled perfectly into place. In that moment of stillness, the lamp sparked to life, casting a warm glow throughout her room. The universe operates through invisible currents of energy, flowing like electricity through the sacred circuitry of existence. When Tesla unveiled his discoveries about electrical conductivity, he glimpsed a truth the ancient mystics had long known, that physical reality emerges from unseen forces. Just as electricity requires proper connection to flow, your manifestations depend not on force, but on alignment. Your heart serves as a natural conductor for divine energy. Within its chambers beats the same cosmic current that powers the stars. When you struggle to manifest your desires, you are like Clara frantically trying to light the lamp through effort alone. The secret lies not in working harder, but in allowing yourself to become a clear channel for universal energy. This truth came alive when Clara's friend Martha arrived at her door one stormy evening, distraught over life's challenges. Instead of offering advice or solutions, Clara simply sat with her, sharing the lamp's gentle light. As they sat in companionable silence, Martha's breathing steadied, her shoulders relaxed, and peace settled over her like a warm blanket. Through simple presence and compassion, Clara had created a circuit for healing energy to flow. The lamp's lesson speaks directly to you now. Force creates resistance, while alignment allows flow. Just as electricity follows the path of least resistance, universal energy moves most powerfully through an open, loving heart. Your role is not to make things happen, but to position yourself in perfect resonance with what you wish to manifest. Practice the heart's current. Find a quiet space and settle into stillness. Imagine your heart as a small sun glowing within your chest. With each breath, feel its radiance growing brighter, its circuit strengthening. Let this inner light expand until it fills your entire being. As you bask in this golden warmth, softly whisper to yourself, "I am connected. I am lit. Allow these words to vibrate through every cell, awakening the divine current that flows eternally through you. Chapter 3. The Magnetic Pulse of Faith. Through countless centuries, the wise have understood that your heart serves as a divine conductor, channeling the invisible currents that shape reality. Just as Tesla discovered the principles of electrical conductivity, you too possess this innate ability to conduct universal energy. This power flows not through force, but through perfect alignment, like Clara's lamp that required only proper connection to shine. When your heart aligns with the frequency of your deepest truth, you become a living conductor of divine energy. This alignment manifests not through strain or struggle, but through the gentle art of allowing. Just as electricity follows the path of least resistance, your manifestations flow most powerfully when you release resistance and open yourself to universal current. Clara's discovery illuminates a timeless truth. The power of manifestation lies not in the strength of your efforts, but in the quality of your connection. In the quiet moments of surrender, when your heart beats in harmony with divine rhythm, you become a perfect conductor for universal energy. In a neighboring village lived a woman who sought Clara's guidance. Her mind was turbulent with worry, her spirit weighed down by constant striving. Instead of offering advice, Clara simply sat with her friend in silence, allowing her own inner light to radiate peace. In that shared stillness, her friend found the answers she sought, understanding that warmth and connection heal more deeply than words. This simple act reveals another layer of truth, that energy transfers most purely through compassion. When you open your heart in genuine care for another, you become a clear channel for divine current. Your presence alone, when aligned with love, creates a field of healing and transformation. Through Clara's journey, you discover that manifestation requires neither force nor endless action. Like the lamp that needed only proper alignment to illuminate, your creative power awakens through connection rather than effort. When your heart finds its true frequency, you become a living conductor of divine energy, naturally attracting and manifesting your deepest desires. Take a moment now for this sacred practice. Find a quiet space where you can sit undisturbed. Close your eyes and imagine your heart as a radiant sun within your chest. With each breath, watch this inner light grow brighter, its circuit becoming stronger and clearer. As you rest in this glow, whisper softly to yourself, I am connected. I am lit. Let this truth settle into your being, knowing that as you align with this inner light, you become a perfect conductor for universal energy. Chapter 4. Frequencies of Gratitude. In a humble village beneath snow-capped mountains, sweet Lyle awakened each morning counting his lakhs. His small cottage felt empty, his garden sparse, his life somehow incomplete. Each dawn brought fresh complaints until the day he encountered an ancient manuscript describing Tesla's revelation, that frequency shapes reality itself. Within those weathered chapters, Lyle discovered that all matter vibrates at specific frequencies, and human consciousness could tune to higher vibrations through gratitude. This truth transformed his mornings. Instead of lamenting empty spaces, he began thanking the universe for the sunlight streaming through his window, the crisp mountain air, the silent strength of his cottage walls. As his frequency shifted, so did his reality. His garden flourished without additional effort. Neighbors brought unexpected gifts. Opportunities arose as naturally as breath. The universe, it seemed, responded not to his wants, but to his wavelength. The great mind operates through immutable laws. When you align your frequency with gratitude, you attune to the vibration of abundance itself. This is not mere positive thinking. It is quantum mechanics clothed in spiritual truth. Your consciousness becomes a tuning fork, resonating with the frequency of manifestation. Consider the merchant Abdullah, who lived in ancient times. His caravan lost in the desert, supplies dwindling. He chose to give thanks each night for the oasis he had not yet found. While his companions worried, Abdullah maintained the vibration of gratitude. On the third day, they crested a dune to discover not just an oasis, but a prosperous trading post where they would establish a flourishing route. The law remains constant. Gratitude is not the response to blessing. It is the frequency that draws blessing near. When you thank the universe in advance, you collapse the distance between desire and manifestation. Your gratitude becomes the bridge across which abundance travels. This wisdom echoes through ages. Maintain the vibration of thankfulness, and watch as reality rearranges itself to match your frequency. The universe cannot help but respond to genuine gratitude, for it is the language of creation itself. Sacred practice. Rise before the sun and face the eastern sky. In that liminal space between night and day, whisper your gratitude for all that is arriving, though still unseen. Thank the universe for its perfect timing, its infinite abundance, its unwavering response to your faith. Let gratitude flow through you like golden light, raising your frequency to match the vibration of your desires fulfilled. In this practice lies the key to manifestation, for what you appreciate appreciates. Chapter 5. The Resonance of Desire. In a garden perfumed with jasmine, Hazel tended her flowers at twilight, careful to keep her dreams buried as deeply as the roots she nurtured. Each time her heart whispered of grander visions, she would quickly silence it, believing that wanting more meant being ungrateful for what she had. When visitors asked about her aspirations, she would smile softly and say, "I am content," though her spirit yearned to soar beyond the garden walls. She had learned early that expressing desires invited judgment, that wanting was somehow wrong, selfish, or proud. The universe speaks through pure desire. This truth echoes through the ages, yet so many have forgotten its power. Your desires are not random wishes or fleeting wants. They are divine impulses flowing through you. When you feel that stirring in your heart, that gentle pull toward something greater, you are experiencing the universe's own longing to expand through you. Just as a flower naturally reaches toward sunlight, your soul naturally reaches toward its highest expression. This is not vanity. It is the sacred dance of creation itself. The universe grows through your dreams, your aspirations, your deepest longings. To deny them is to resist the very force that breathes life into stars. In time, Hazel discovered an ancient scroll that spoke of desire as the first movement of creation. She learned that the universe itself began with divine desire, the yearning to express, to create, to become. This wisdom awakened something within her. One morning she stood in her garden and, for the first time, allowed herself to speak her dreams aloud. "I wish to heal with herbs," she declared to the dawning sky. I wish to share nature's wisdom with others." As the words left her lips, a warm breeze stirred the flowers, as if nature itself celebrated her truth. Within days, a traveling healer sought shelter in her village. Seeing Hazel's garden, she offered to teach her the ancient arts of herbal medicine. This was no coincidence. It was the universe responding to desire, finally expressed with clarity and without shame. Your desires are sacred messengers, pointing the way toward your highest purpose. When you deny them, you dim your light. When you embrace them, you align with the creative force of the universe itself. Practice. Place a hand over your heart and say, "My desire is the divine's direction and motion." Let each inhalation feel like permission granted. Chapter 6. The Current of Imagination. In a sunlit workshop at the edge of town, George sat surrounded by unfinished inventions and scattered drawings. While others saw mere sketches on paper, he witnessed living blueprints pulsing with possibility. Each morning, he would close his eyes and allow images to form in his mind with such clarity that he could trace their edges with his fingertips. One particularly memorable dawn, George envisioned a peculiar water wheel that could harness energy from the gentlest stream. In his mind's eye, he watched it turn with perfect precision, each paddle catching the current at exactly the right moment. Others laughed when he spoke of his vision, saying such a device could never work with such little water flow. Yet George continued to hold the image, refining it in the quiet sanctuary of his imagination until it felt more substantial than the physical world around him. When you imagine with unwavering clarity, you tap into the same creative current that shapes worlds. Your mind is not merely producing pictures, it is transmitting frequencies that mold the invisible into the visible. This is the hidden science behind all manifestation. Imagination is the blueprint that energy follows. Just as Tesla understood that all physical phenomena begin as electromagnetic patterns, your vivid mental images create energetic templates that reality must eventually mirror. The universe responds not to what your eyes see, but to what your mind projects with emotional conviction. Your imagination is not fantasy. It is the first phase of creation, the spiritual architect drawing plans that matter must follow. In George's second chapter, he found himself sketching late into the night, guided by an inner vision he couldn't ignore. The design flowed through his hands as if drawn by an unseen force. Months later, while walking through town, he stopped in astonishment. There, in a shop window, stood the exact device he had imagined and drawn, down to the smallest detail. The shopkeeper explained that a manufacturer had just begun producing them, starting exactly when George had completed his sketch. This seeming miracle illustrates a timeless truth. Imagination is not separate from reality. It is reality in its first form. When you picture something with complete sensory detail, you are not daydreaming. You are witnessing the birth of creation before it densifies into physical form. Ancient practice. Before sleep, picture yourself inside your desired moment. Sense every sound, texture, and scent until imagination feels factual. Let each detail grow sharper until you can no longer distinguish between vision and reality. This is not visualization. It is witnessing what already exists in spirit before it manifests in form. Chapter 7. The Power of Belief Voltage. Amid rolling hills there lived a woman named Dottie whose faith flickered like a candle in changing winds. Though her heart yearned for constancy, her belief waxed and waned with each passing day. Some mornings she would wake filled with unshakable certainty, while others found her spirit dim with doubt. One autumn afternoon, an aged electrician visited her home to repair a faulty light. As he worked, he spoke of circuits and current, explaining how even the smallest break in connection could dim the brightest bulb. "You see," he said, adjusting his wire strippers, "electricity doesn't flow strong or weak by accident. It's all about maintaining an unbroken circuit and consistent voltage." These words struck Dottie with the force of revelation. She realized her inconsistent faith created spiritual circuits that opened and closed, allowing universal energy to flow strongly one moment, then barely trickle the next. The universe operates through unwavering laws, just as electricity follows unchanging principles. When you send out waves of belief, you generate a spiritual voltage that either amplifies or diminishes the current of manifestation. Your faith acts as a transformer, either stepping up or stepping down the power of your intentions. This truth became evident in Dottie's garden, where she began practicing steady belief. Rather than allowing doubt to interrupt her spiritual circuit, she maintained an even flow of faith. Each morning, she would tend to her flowers while holding constant the thought of abundant blooms. To her amazement, the garden flourished beyond measure, responding to the unwavering current of her conviction. Years later, Dottie encountered a struggling artist who doubted her talents. Remembering her own journey, she shared a simple truth. Your belief isn't meant to flicker like a candle. It's meant to shine like the sun. The universe doesn't need your faith to be perfect, only consistent. When you understand that belief operates like voltage in a cosmic circuit, you begin to guard against the interruptions of doubt. Each sustained moment of faith strengthens the connection between your consciousness and the universal current of creation. Practice. Picture a dial before your heart labeled belief voltage. Turn it gently upward while affirming, "My faith flows steady and strong." Chapter 8. Aligning Waveforms of Emotion. In a bustling marketplace stood a merchant known for her exquisite silk scarves. Each morning she would arrange them with meticulous care, yet customers passed by without notice. Though she yearned for success, her heart harbored conflicting emotions. Hope mingled with fear, desire tangled with doubt. Like waves colliding in a storm, these opposing forces created interference patterns in the fabric of her reality. You see, every thought you release into the universe carries an electromagnetic signature. When your emotions align with your intentions, they create harmonious wavelengths that amplify manifestation. But when feelings contradict desires, they generate interference patterns that scatter your creative energy. Tesla understood this principle through his work with electrical frequencies. He observed how waves could either strengthen or cancel each other depending on their alignment. This same law governs the subtle energies of consciousness. Your thoughts and emotions are living currents that must flow in harmony to manifest with clarity and power. When fear whispers, "What if I fail?" while hope declares, "I can succeed," these conflicting frequencies create spiritual static. The universe receives mixed signals and reflects back confused results. This is why you may sometimes feel stuck despite your best efforts. Your emotional broadcast contains interference patterns. In the quiet hours before dawn, the merchant had an insight. Instead of forcing herself to feel what she thought she should, she allowed genuine joy to surface. Joy in the beauty of her crafts, joy in the simple act of arranging them with love. As her emotion aligned naturally with her intent, something shifted. That very morning, a wealthy buyer stopped, drawn by an inexplicable attraction to her stall. Within hours, her entire collection had sold. This transformation occurred not through effort or struggle, but through emotional coherence. When your feelings resonate purely with your desires, you broadcast a clear signal that the universe can easily match. Like perfectly aligned waves amplifying each other's power, harmonized thoughts and emotions create immediate, tangible results. To integrate this wisdom into your daily practice, settle into a comfortable position and take 3 deep breaths. Allow an authentic feeling of joy to arise naturally within you, perhaps from a cherished memory or simple appreciation of the present moment. Feel this joy expanding outward like ripples on a pond, creating pure, unobstructed waves. Now bring to mind your heart's desire, letting it merge with these waves of joy. Feel how your aligned emotion and intention create a single, powerful frequency. Maintain this harmonious state for several minutes, knowing that you are broadcasting a clear signal into the universe. Chapter 9. Silence, the Hidden Frequency. In the shade of an ancient cypress grove, a young woman named Hollis spent her days in perpetual motion. Her prayers streamed forth as endless rivers of words. Her meditation cushion collected dust while she paced, planning and scheming. Each morning she would recite elaborate affirmations, believing more words meant stronger manifestation. Yet her desires remained distant stars, twinkling but unreachable. One dawn, exhausted from her ceaseless spiritual labors, she encountered an aged mystic tending to a crystalline pool. Without speaking, the mystic motioned for Hollis to observe the water's surface. When disturbed, the pool showed only fractured reflections. As it settled into stillness, it became a perfect mirror of the heavens above. The space between your thoughts holds more power than the thoughts themselves. Like the quantum field that birthed the cosmos, silence is not empty. It is pregnant with infinite potential. Within this void, the mother tone of creation resonates, a frequency so pure it can only be felt in absolute stillness. Your consciousness operates like a radio receiver. When filled with mental static, it cannot tune to the subtle frequencies where manifestation begins. The universe speaks in whispers, not shouts. Its wisdom flows most clearly through a mind at rest. Hollis learned to replace her torrent of words with spaces of sacred silence. Rather than pushing against life's current with endless affirmations, she allowed herself to become still, sensing the vibration of being itself. In that quietude, solutions appeared like bubbles rising naturally to the surface of her awareness. One afternoon, while sitting in wordless communion with the infinite, Hollis felt a shift in her energy field. The answer to a long-standing challenge emerged, not as a thought, but as a knowing that had always been present beneath her mental noise. She realized that silence was not the absence of power, but its very essence. This truth echoes through the ages. Creation does not require your effort, only your alignment. And alignment comes through stillness. When you cease filling every moment with doing, you create space for being. In that space, miracles unfold with natural grace. Sacred practice. Find a quiet place where you will remain undisturbed. Set aside 5 minutes to simply be. Do not try to empty your mind or achieve any particular state. Simply rest in the awareness that you are peace itself, allowing silence to reveal its subtle power. Let the mother tone of creation resonate through your being, calibrating you to the frequency of pure potential. Chapter 10. The field remembers perfection. Along the winding streets of an ancient quarter, a craftsman named Eddie lived beneath the shadow of his own hesitation. Though his hands held remarkable skill at woodworking, he turned away commission after commission, convinced he would fail to meet expectations. Each morning, he would gaze at the fine tools inherited from his grandfather, feeling unworthy of their legacy. The breakthrough came when an elderly furniture collector discovered one of Eddie's pieces in a hidden corner of his workshop. The collector's eyes lit up with recognition, not of the piece itself, but of the divine signature within its craftsmanship. "This pattern," the collector whispered, running weathered fingers along the grain, "it exists in the stars themselves. You haven't created it, you've remembered it. The universe operates through an invisible template of perfection, holding the original blueprint of all that exists. Like a master architect's plans, this divine schematic contains the highest expression of every soul, every talent, every dream waiting to materialize. You are not reaching for something new. You are remembering who you have always been." When doubt clouds your vision, understand that the universal field maintains your perfect pattern unchanged, like a crystal encoding light. Your temporary forgetting cannot erase what the cosmos remembers. The task is not to become, but to recall. In time, Eddie began leaving his workshop door open, allowing sunlight to stream across his workbench. One morning, while sanding a table's surface, he caught a glimpse of something extraordinary in the wood's reflection. His own face, but illuminated from within. It was as if he saw himself through the eyes of creation, recognized his place in the grand design. In that moment of recognition, everything shifted. Orders flowed in naturally. His hands moved with certainty, and his work found its rightful admirers. He had not changed his skill. He had simply remembered his role in the universal pattern. This remembrance is your birthright. The field of infinite intelligence holds your divine blueprint intact, awaiting your recognition. When you align with this truth, life rearranges itself to match your original design. True prayer is not asking to become something else. It is remembering who you already are in the mind of creation. As you drift to sleep, whisper, "I remember who I am." The pattern of perfection awakening now. Part 2. The Frequency of Creation. Chapter 11. Thought as Light. In the heart of an ancient glassmaker's district, a young woman named Nora spent her days crafting delicate prisms. Each morning, as sunlight streamed through her workshop windows, rainbow patterns danced across the walls, mesmerizing all who entered. Yet she noticed something curious. Each visitor described seeing different colors and patterns in the same crystal formations. One dawn, while positioning a particularly fine prism, Nora witnessed how a single beam of light transformed into a spectrum of vibrant hues. In that moment, she understood. Her thoughts worked in the same way, refracting through her consciousness to create the varied experiences of her life. The universe operates through pure energy, manifesting in countless forms just as white light separates into distinct colors. Your thoughts act as the prism through which universal energy flows. Each belief, each perspective you hold, bends this energy into the specific circumstances you experience. When you understand this principle, you gain the power to consciously direct this process. Your awareness becomes the master craftsman, carefully positioning the prism of your mind to reflect precisely what you wish to manifest. Consider how a single shift in a prism's angle completely transforms the pattern it creates. Similarly, the slightest adjustment in your perception can dramatically alter the reality you project. This is not mere metaphor. It is the practical application of Tesla's insights into the nature of energy and consciousness. As Nora continued her work, she encountered an elderly man seeking a custom piece. His request seemed impossible. A prism that would capture the sunset's exact colors. Instead of refusing, she realized she needed to adjust her own perception. She stopped seeing limitations and began exploring new cutting techniques. Within weeks, she created something unprecedented, a multifaceted crystal that reflected colors previously thought impossible to capture. The physical world you perceive is consciousness made visible. Every circumstance, every condition you experience has first been shaped by the prism of your mind. You are not a passive observer, but an active participant in this process of creation. Practice. The Crystal Light Meditation. Find a quiet moment as day breaks or sun sets. Close your eyes and visualize pure white light entering through the crown of your head. Watch as this light passes through your mind, cleansing each thought, each belief, until they become crystal clear. Feel your consciousness transforming into a flawless prism, refracting only the purest vibrations of your desires into being. This aligns with your instructions about Nora's story involving Tesla's concepts of light, the teaching about thoughts refracting as circumstances, and includes the required visualization practice. Chapter 12. Tesla's Whisper and the Universal Ear. In a sunlit conservatory filled with crystal bowls, Louise discovered the hidden language of vibration. Each morning she would gently strike the bowls, watching ripples of sound move through the air. Though invisible to the eye, these waves touched everything in their path, transforming the very atmosphere of the room. One day, while observing the bowl's harmonious song, Louise noticed that certain frequencies caused nearby objects to tremble in response. A delicate feather would dance, a drop of water would ripple, all responding to sounds that matched their natural rhythm. This simple observation unveiled a profound truth about the nature of prayer. When you speak into the infinite field of possibility, your words carry far beyond their audible range. Like Tesla's breakthrough in wireless transmission, your thoughts and intentions travel through an unseen medium, reaching across time and space. This ethereal substance, more subtle than air, more pervasive than light, connects all things in an invisible web of resonance. Prayer, in its purest form, is not a series of words launched into empty space. It is a frequency that aligns with the very vibration of creation itself. When your heart speaks in perfect harmony with your desire, the universe cannot help but respond, for it recognizes its own song in your voice. In the weeks that followed her discovery, Louise began approaching prayer differently. Rather than reciting empty phrases, she learned to feel each word arising from her heart's deepest chamber. One evening, while sitting in peaceful silence, she whispered her gratitude for a yet unseen blessing. The words seemed to shimmer in the air, and within days that very blessing materialized in her life. The universe is not deaf to your desires. It hears through the language of resonance. Your every thought sends ripples through the cosmic sea, but it is the feeling tone behind your words that determines their power. When you speak from that sacred space within, where truth and longing merge, you tap into the same force that orchestrates galaxies. Just as Tesla understood that electrical waves could cross vast distances without visible wires, your heart's pure intention travels through the subtle realm, carried on waves of consciousness itself. The secret lies not in the volume of your voice, but in the depth of your feeling. Practice. Speak softly from your chest. Universe, hear me. Sense the hum of your words traveling through infinite ether. Chapter 13. The Law of Harmonic Return. In a mountain valley known for its remarkable acoustics, Mabel spent her days studying the way sound traveled and returned. Each morning, she would walk to a specific point where the hills created a perfect echo chamber. What fascinated her most wasn't the loudness of her voice returning, but how the tone she sent out came back with exactly the same quality. When she called out with joy, joy returned. When she spoke with anger, anger bounced back. The mountains never altered the emotional frequency of what they received. They simply reflected it in its pure form. The universe operates through this same principle of reciprocal resonance. Every thought, feeling, and intention you release into the field of infinite intelligence returns to you with mathematical precision. This is not punishment or reward. It is simply the law of energetic echo. Tesla understood this when he discovered that electrical frequencies would naturally find their matching vibrations across space. Your consciousness works in the same way, continuously broadcasting and receiving on frequencies that match your inner state. When you emanate gratitude, the universe must respond with experiences that mirror that frequency. When you radiate love, circumstances align to reflect that vibration back to you. This is why forced positivity rarely creates lasting change. The universe responds not to your words, but to your authentic emotional broadcast. A merchant named Wei understood this principle well. For years he struggled in his business, viewing his customers with suspicion and resentment. His shop felt cold and unwelcoming, and his profits reflected this energy. One day, after watching how mountain echoes worked, he decided to experiment with changing his inner broadcast. He began greeting each person with genuine warmth, finding something to sincerely appreciate about every interaction. Within weeks, his shop's atmosphere transformed. Customers lingered longer, smiled more, and returned frequently. His business flourished not through any external changes, but through the natural law of resonant return. The field of infinite intelligence contains every possible frequency of experience. Like a cosmic echo chamber, it can only reflect back to you the qualities you transmit. Your emotional broadcast creates a standing wave pattern in the universe, attracting matching circumstances with unfailing accuracy. Sacred practice. Pause now in your daily activities. Offer one heartfelt compliment to someone, not as a technique, but as a genuine expression of appreciation. Notice how the joy in their eyes instantly reflects back to you, creating a harmonious circuit of positive energy. This simple practice demonstrates how quickly the universe echoes our emotional transmissions. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Geometry of Intention. In a sunlit study filled with morning light, Walter sat cross-legged on his meditation cushion. Before him lay a blank sheet of paper and a simple pencil. As his breath steadied, his hand began to move, drawing perfect circles and intersecting lines. With each stroke, an intricate mandala emerged, not planned, but flowing from some deeper wisdom within. You see, the universe speaks in patterns. Every snowflake, every spiral galaxy, every flower unfolds according to precise geometric laws. These are not mere accidents of nature, but expressions of the invisible architecture that shapes all creation. When you align your thoughts with these sacred patterns, manifestation becomes as natural as a seed growing into a flower. Your intentions are not formless wishes, but living blueprints that the universe recognizes and responds to with mathematical precision. Consider how a crystal forms, not through chaos, but through orderly arrangement of molecules following invisible geometric laws. Your thoughts operate similarly. When scattered, they create fuzzy outcomes. When structured with clarity and purpose, they crystallize into tangible reality. Walter discovered this truth one autumn morning while organizing his workspace. As he aligned his desk at right angles, sorted papers into precise stacks, and created clean lines throughout his environment, something shifted in his field of manifestation. Opportunities began arranging themselves with the same elegant precision. Projects that had stalled suddenly found natural momentum. Relationships clarified themselves like purified solutions. This is because outer order reflects and reinforces inner clarity. When you bring geometric precision to your thinking, when you define your intentions with crystal clarity, the universe responds with mirror-like accuracy. The ancient temples were built on these principles. Their precise measurements and sacred ratios weren't merely aesthetic choices. They were tools for focusing consciousness itself. By sitting in these geometrically perfected spaces, the priests and priestesses could align their prayers with the mathematical language of creation. You, too, can access this power. When you hold an intention, see it not as a vague hope, but as a precise pattern, clean, defined, mathematically perfect. Feel how it fits into the sacred geometry of the universe itself. Sacred practice. Find a quiet moment and settle into stillness. In your mind's eye, envision a crystal sphere floating before you. Within this sphere, place your pure intention. See how the light plays through its perfect form, how each facet gleams with clarity. Feel its geometric perfection, its mathematical precision. Now, with gratitude, release this sphere into the radiant light that surrounds you. Trust that the universe recognizes its pattern and will respond with equal precision. Chapter 15. The Pulse of Purpose. In a quaint village among rolling hills lived a young woman named Ivy. Each morning she would sit by her window, watching others hurry past with determined steps while she felt adrift, wondering why her own path remained unclear. The heaviness in her heart made even the simplest decisions feel overwhelming. One day, as she observed the village clockmaker at work, something shifted in her understanding. The clockmaker explained that each timepiece had its own unique rhythm, yet all served the sacred purpose of marking time's flow. Just as each clock finds its tempo, he shared, your heart beats to a rhythm that knows your path. When you sense disconnection from your life's direction, remember that purpose is not a destination, but a frequency. Like a musical note that resonates with its matching pitch, your authentic path vibrates in harmony with the universe's grand orchestration. Every heartbeat pulses with this knowing. Every breath draws you closer to alignment. The heart, that magnificent conductor of life force, beats approximately 100,000 times each day. Each pulse carries electrical current that radiates far beyond the physical form, creating a field of resonance that attracts corresponding possibilities. When you attune to this internal rhythm, external events begin moving in synchronized patterns. This truth became clear when Ivy discovered her love for tending to sick animals. At first, she questioned whether this simple calling could be significant enough. Yet as she followed this gentle pull, previously frustrating obstacles transformed into stepping stones. A missed appointment led to meeting a veteran veterinarian who became her mentor. A wrong turn brought her to an abandoned shelter that became her healing sanctuary. Your purpose already exists within you as surely as your heartbeat. It requires no forcing, no straining, only recognition and allowance. Like a river finding its natural course, your life flows most powerfully when aligned with this inner current. Place your hand upon your heart center now. Feel its steady rhythm beneath your palm. This pulse is not random. It is the physical echo of your soul's frequency, the tempo to which your destiny dances. Each beat carries you forward on the current of divine timing, each moment pregnant with purpose already fulfilled. Quiet your mind and whisper with conviction. Each pulse beats me toward purpose already fulfilled. Let this truth settle into your cells. You are never lost. You are finding your rhythm in the cosmic dance. Chapter 16. Quantum Forgiveness. In a small town where the morning mist clung to cobblestone streets, a man named Theo carried the weight of past hurts like heavy stones in his pockets. Each morning he would pass the same faces, clutching his grievances closer with each encounter, unaware that these very thoughts were creating resistance in the universal current flowing through his life. One dawn, as he sat beneath an ancient oak tree, Theo witnessed two birds quarreling over a branch. In an instant, their dispute ended, and they soared together into the endless sky. This simple moment awakened something within him, a glimpse of how quickly energy could transform when resistance dissolved. The universal law reveals that forgiveness is not merely a moral virtue, but a scientific principle of energy restoration. When you hold resentment, you create interference patterns in your field, disrupting the natural flow of manifestation. Like a kinked garden hose restricting water's flow, unforgiveness constrains the current of creation seeking expression through you. Theo began releasing his grievances one by one, noticing how each act of forgiveness brought immediate lightness to his being. The person who had wronged him at work, the friend who had betrayed his trust. As he released each situation, synchronicities began appearing in his life with increasing frequency. Opportunities that had seemed blocked suddenly opened before him, as though invisible doors were being unlocked by the keys of his compassion. In the quantum field of consciousness, Forgiveness collapses the illusory distance between your current state and your desired reality. It removes the energetic friction that keeps manifestations at bay. When you forgive, you align with the universe's natural state of harmony, allowing your intentions to materialize with greater ease and speed. Theo's transformation became evident when he encountered his former business partner who had once deceived him. Instead of turning away, he offered a genuine smile, feeling the last threads of resentment dissolve that very afternoon. An unexpected call brought news of a lucrative opportunity, one that would not have found him had he remained entangled in old grievances. Through forgiveness, you become a clearer channel for universal energy. Your field releases its distortions, allowing pure creative force to flow. Unimpeded love, in its highest expression through forgiveness, becomes the ultimate conductor of manifestation. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Picture someone or situation that has caused you pain, surrounded by gentle light. Speak these words from your heart. I set us free. I set energy free. Notice the immediate sensation of relief as the energy transforms. Chapter 17. The Bridge Between Mind and Matter. In the tranquil valleys where ancient wisdom whispers through time, there once lived a weaver named Opal. Each morning, she would sit at her loom, watching threads intertwine into patterns, puzzling over how her thoughts might weave similarly into the fabric of reality. One dawn, as sunlight filtered through her workshop window, Opal noticed how the dust particles danced in the golden rays. If light can move these tiny specks, she wondered, what unseen forces might my thoughts command? The mysteries of creation flow through channels far more subtle than your physical senses detect. Just as Tesla discovered that energy moves in waves unseen by human eyes, your thoughts pulse with frequencies that shape the quantum field around you. Each idea you hold resonates at a specific vibration, impressing itself upon the universal substance that forms all matter. You need not understand the intricate mechanics of this process any more than you need to comprehend how a seed knows to become a flower. What matters is your recognition of this truth. Thought is the first substance of all that manifests in your world. When you think, you are not merely engaging in abstract mental exercise. You are working with the primary material of creation itself. Consider how a radio transmitter sends invisible waves through space, which then reconstruct as sound through a receiver. Your mind operates with similar precision, broadcasting frequencies that the quantum field receives and reconstructs into physical experience. This is not metaphor, but mechanics. The same principles Tesla explored in his work with electromagnetic waves apply to the subtle energies of consciousness. The second tale of Opal reveals this principle in action. One morning, rather than fretting over her unfinished projects, she simply held the feeling of completion in her heart. Within hours, previously tangled threads untangled themselves, delayed materials arrived unexpectedly, and her work flowed with unprecedented ease. The small shift in her inner state produced immediate changes in her outer reality. This law operates with mathematical precision. You do not need to force or struggle, simply maintain clear frequency, and the universe responds with matching circumstances. The field knows no delay between signal and response. It is only our perception that creates the illusion of time between thought and manifestation. Practice. Sit quietly and breathe deeply. With each inhalation, sense the substantive nature of your thoughts. Feel them taking shape around you, as tangible as silk or stone. With each exhalation, know that your ideas are impressing themselves upon the infinite field, already becoming the reality you will soon touch with your hands. Maintain this awareness for several minutes, allowing thought to reveal itself as the master weaver of your experience. Chapter 18. Synchrony, the Signature of Source. In a bustling marketplace, a merchant named Clyde arranged his wares each morning with meticulous care. One day, while setting out his collection of wind chimes, he noticed how their random tinkling seemed to form a melody that matched his thoughts. When he thought of prosperity, the chimes rang with golden tones. When his mind turned to peace, they whispered like gentle rain. The universe speaks not in singular notes, but in harmonious arrangements. Through the intricate dance of synchronicity, it weaves messages into the tapestry of your daily experience. These are not mere coincidences, but the language of Source expressing itself through the patterns of life. When you align with universal frequency, life orchestrates itself in ways that transcend ordinary explanation. Numbers repeat, names echo, and moments mirror each other with mathematical precision. Each synchronicity serves as a nodal point where thought meets manifestation, where intention touches form. A week later, Clyde encountered a traveler seeking directions to the temple. As they spoke, the same wind chime sequence from earlier rang out. The traveler smiled, revealing he was a temple musician who composed with chimes. In that moment, Clyde recognized how gratitude had amplified his awareness of these divine arrangements. The more you acknowledge these patterns, the more they multiply. Synchronicity flows not from chance, but from conscious connection with the field of infinite possibility. Like a radio tuning to clearer frequencies, your recognition of these meaningful coincidences strengthens your reception of universal guidance. These patterns emerge as confirmation that you walk in harmony with Source. They appear not to direct you, but to affirm your alignment with divine flow. Each synchronicity serves as a gentle reminder you are seen, heard, and moved by forces greater than circumstance. The sacred practice. As night falls, find a quiet moment to reflect. Record every synchronicity that graced your day, every meaningful coincidence, every pattern that caught your attention. Feel appreciation for each one. Then, with soft conviction, whisper these words: I am heard in patterns. Let this truth settle into your being, knowing that the universe speaks through the elegant language of synchronized moments. Chapter 19. The Electric Body, Divine Instrument. In a sunlit garden, June tended her flowers each morning, feeling inexplicably drawn to certain plants, while others seemed to shy away from her touch. One day, as dark clouds gathered overhead and her mood turned heavy, she noticed the delicate mimosa leaves folding inward before her fingers even made contact. Your physical form exists as more than mere matter. It emanates a living field of energy that extends beyond skin and bone. This bioelectric aura, which Tesla understood as fundamental to life itself, flows in constant dialogue with your emotional state. When you experience joy, your field expands and brightens. In moments of fear or doubt, it contracts and dims. This electromagnetic signature carries the resonance of your thoughts and feelings into the world around you, touching everything within its reach. Plants, Animals and even other humans unconsciously respond to these subtle energetic fluctuations. Your body serves as both transmitter and receiver, constantly broadcasting and absorbing frequencies that shape your experience of reality. The ancient wisdom keepers understood this truth. Your physical form and spiritual essence are not separate entities, but one unified expression of life force. Every cell vibrates with consciousness. Every atom holds the potential for transformation. When you shift your emotional state, you literally alter the electromagnetic signature you project into the universe. One evening, as June prepared for an important presentation, anxiety began to overwhelm her. Rather than fighting these feelings, she remembered the wisdom of energetic alignment. Taking a deep breath, she allowed herself to feel joy, not as an escape from worry, but as a deliberate tuning of her internal frequency. As warmth spread through her chest, the tension in her shoulders melted away. The next morning, she delivered her presentation with natural ease, her positive energy field touching everyone in the room. This simple truth reveals itself. Your body's electromagnetic field responds instantly to emotional shifts. By consciously cultivating uplifting feelings, you create a resonant frequency that attracts corresponding experiences. The power to transform your reality lies not in forcing change, but in aligning your entire being, physical, emotional, and spiritual, with the vibration of what you wish to manifest. Daily practice. Stand in a quiet space and select music that lifts your spirit. As the melody begins, move your body freely, imagining streams of golden light flowing through every cell. Let each movement generate sparks of rejuvenating energy, illuminating you from within. Feel your electromagnetic field expanding with joy, touching everything around you with its radiant frequency. Chapter 20. When Time Yields to Frequency. In a small cottage near the edge of a timeless forest, Frankie sat at her window, watching the seasons change. Day after day, she marked time's passage on her calendar, counting the moments until her dreams would manifest. The wait felt endless, until one morning, when a mysterious wanderer passed by. "Time," the wanderer said, "is not a river that flows in one direction, but a dance of frequencies." He showed Frankie how to spin a leaf between his fingers, making it appear to move backward and forward at will. When your vibration rises, time bends to meet your consciousness. The universe operates beyond linear time, responding instead to the frequency of your emotional state. When you exist in perfect harmony with your desire, the illusion of waiting dissolves. This sacred truth echoes through Tesla's understanding that time itself is modified by energy frequencies. The higher your vibrational state, the more reality compresses around your intention. In moments of pure joy, you transcend the sequential nature of experience. Your thoughts and their manifestation become one unified event, collapsing the space between now and then. This is why masters teach that the present moment contains all possibilities. It is the point where frequency meets form. Later that season, Frankie received news of an unexpected inheritance. She realized that in the weeks before, she had felt such complete peace about her financial situation that she had forgotten to worry. In that state of elevated frequency, time had compressed around her intention, delivering abundance without delay. The true secret lies not in waiting for manifestation, but in raising your frequency until you resonate with its completion. When your emotional vibration matches the reality you desire, Time bends to accommodate this harmony. Every moment of alignment accelerates manifestation until the gap between desire and fulfillment vanishes entirely. Sacred practice. Sit still, imagine all waiting dissolving into now, and feel your wish already fulfilled. Part 3. Embodying the Metaphysical Prayer. Chapter 21. The Prayer Beyond Words. In the heart of an ancient garden, Flora tended to her flowers each morning, speaking not a word. While others filled the air with endless petitions, she discovered a deeper truth about communion with the divine. Each bloom responded not to her words, but to the silent song of her heart. As she worked, her withered roses transformed into vibrant displays of life. Passers-by would ask about her secret fertilizer or special techniques. Flora would simply smile, knowing that her garden flourished through the pure vibration of love she emanated, while tending to each plant. The universe responds not to the words we speak, but to the frequency we maintain. When Tesla explored the transmission of energy through space, he discovered that the most powerful signals required no physical medium. Similarly, the most potent prayers need no words. They are pure vibrational states of being. Your consciousness is a living transmitter, broadcasting continuously into the quantum field. Every emotion generates waves that ripple through the fabric of reality. When you align your emotional frequency with the state of having received, the universe cannot help but conform to that vibration. In Flora's second encounter with this truth, she faced a severe drought threatening her beloved garden. Instead of voicing worried prayers, she sat in her garden chair, radiating the feeling of gentle rain nourishing the soil. Within hours, clouds gathered, and life-giving water blessed the parched earth. This timeless teaching reveals that prayer is not a bridge between lack and fulfillment. It is the frequency of fulfillment itself. Just as Tesla's wireless transmissions carried power through invisible waves, your emotional state carries creative force through the ether of existence. The power of silent prayer lies in its purity. When you remove the static of words and rest in the vibration of gratitude, miracles unfold naturally. Flora's garden teaches us that the universe responds not to what we say, but to who we become in the silence of our hearts. Ancient practice of vibrational alignment. Close your eyes and radiate the emotion of your answered prayer for 60 heartbeats. Let each pulse amplify the feeling of completion, knowing that your silent communion speaks louder than any words could express. Chapter 22. The Tesla Alignment Meditation. In a modest workshop filled with curious devices and humming equipment, Archie spent his days studying the invisible currents that pulse through all things. One morning, while observing the rhythmic oscillation of a pendulum, he noticed how its steady swing seemed to gather strength when moving in harmony with its natural frequency. The sight awakened something within him. Archie began to understand that human consciousness, like the pendulum, could amplify its power through alignment with universal rhythms. He developed a simple practice, sitting quietly each dawn, matching his breath to what he called the cosmic pulse. You, too, possess this innate ability to amplify your spiritual voltage. Just as Tesla discovered that electrical current could be magnified through resonance, your consciousness grows in power when it synchronizes with higher frequencies. This amplification occurs not through force or strain, but through gentle alignment, with the natural rhythms that sustain all creation. The key lies in recognizing that you are already a living transformer of universal energy. Each thought, each breath, each heartbeat carries the potential to increase your spiritual conductivity. When you align your inner rhythm with the greater current of life, manifestation becomes as natural as the rising sun. Later that year, Archie met a troubled artist who complained of creative blocks. Rather than offering advice, Archie shared his frequency practice. "Sit quietly," he instructed, "and feel the pulse of life moving through you. Don't try to change it. Simply align with it." 3 weeks later, the artist returned, his eyes bright with discovery. Not only had his creativity returned, but his entire life had shifted into a state of effortless flow. By attuning to universal frequency, he had become a clearer channel for creative energy. This transformation reveals a fundamental truth. When you harmonize with cosmic rhythm, you naturally draw experiences that match your elevated frequency. Like instruments in an orchestra tuning to the same note, your consciousness begins to resonate with the highest possibilities available to you. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Stand with your feet shoulder-width apart, eyes closed. Visualize yourself within a luminous spiral of golden energy that rises from earth to sky. With each breath, feel this cosmic current flowing through you, amplifying your natural frequency. Let each inhalation draw this light upward, each exhalation ground it into your being. Continue for several minutes, allowing yourself to become a living conductor of universal voltage. Chapter 23. Love, the Prime Frequency. In a small garden abundant with roses, May tended her flowers with methodical detachment. Each morning she measured precise amounts of water and nutrients, following strict schedules and scientific principles. Yet despite her careful attention, her roses seemed lifeless, technically perfect, but lacking vitality. One day, an elderly gardener passed by and noticed May's struggle. "Your roses need more than water," he said softly. "They need the same force that keeps stars burning and planets spinning, pure love." May dismissed his words as sentimental nonsense until she witnessed him transform a withering rose simply by sitting beside it in peaceful appreciation. The universe operates on a fundamental frequency, the vibration of unconditional love. This is not the emotional love that comes and goes, but the steady current that holds atoms together and keeps hearts beating. When Tesla spoke of the cosmos being bound by a core energy that information could travel through instantly, he was describing this same force, love as the ultimate conductor. This love frequency exists beyond time and space, requiring no medium to transmit its power. It doesn't diminish with distance or weaken through obstacles. Instead, it operates as the background resonance of reality itself, the carrier wave for all other energies. In May's second garden across town, conflict had erupted between neighbors over boundary lines and overhanging branches. Rather than engage in argument, May remembered the rose's lesson. She began gardening with pure appreciation, letting love flow without agenda. Within days, the neighbors found themselves spontaneously cooperating, sharing cuttings, and creating a communal space of beauty. The lesson revealed itself clearly. When you align with love's frequency, external circumstances naturally harmonize. This occurs because love is not an emotion you create, but the fundamental tone of the universe you allow yourself to conduct. Like electricity flowing through a perfect circuit, pure love transforms everything it touches into its highest potential. Pure love dissolves resistance. It doesn't fight against what is unwanted, but gently elevates all it encounters to a higher vibration. This is why genuine love leads to instantaneous manifestation. It already exists at the frequency where all possibilities are realized. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Breathe deeply and feel love as a golden light emanating from your heart center. Without directing it toward any person or outcome, allow this love to pulse outward in expanding waves. Visualize these waves of pure love energy circling the entire globe, gathering strength, and returning to you multiplied. Simply be the conduit for this universal force. Chapter 24. The Radiant Mind Generator. In a modest workshop filled with curious instruments, Harvey spent his evenings studying electrical diagrams. His fascination with Tesla's work led him to an extraordinary insight one quiet night. As he gazed at an illustration of electrical current flowing through copper coils, he suddenly understood. His own brain operated in much the same way. The revelation transformed his approach to manifestation. Rather than seeing his thoughts as mere ideas, he began treating his mind as a precision instrument, a generator of living light. Each morning he would sit in silence, sensing the electrical nature of his consciousness, feeling neural pathways illuminating like tiny filaments. Your brain is far more than biological matter. It is a metaphysical apparatus of astounding power. When Tesla spoke of the human body as a machine of infinite complexity, he glimpsed this truth. Every thought you think generates actual electrical current, waves of energy that ripple outward into the quantum field. These frequencies carry creative force, shaping the very substance of reality. In his second revelation, Harvey noticed that positive expectation produced brighter, clearer signals. When worry clouded his mind, manifestations appeared distorted or delayed. But when he maintained steady optimism, reality responded with remarkable precision. He discovered that joy acted as a superconductor, allowing creative energy to flow without resistance. This insight mirrors Tesla's observation that certain states of matter conduct electricity more efficiently than others. Your consciousness operates by the same principle. Uplifted emotions allow manifestation to occur with greater ease and clarity. When you maintain positive expectation, you optimize your brain's capacity to generate reality-shaping frequencies. The world you see around you began as neural light within a human mind. Every invention, every work of art, every solution first flickered to life as brain waves before materializing in physical form. Your thoughts are not abstract concepts. They are tangible forces of creation. Practice. Sit quietly and smile softly, sensing the gentle current of creative energy spinning behind your forehead. Feel this golden light beginning to pulse and flow, illuminating new possibilities into being. Let this light expand naturally, knowing it carries the power to reshape your reality. Chapter 25. The Blueprint of Bliss. In a small garden filled with wildflowers, Annie tended to her plants with an infectious laugh that seemed to make them grow taller. Though her circumstances hadn't changed, she discovered that maintaining joy itself shaped what unfolded in her life. Each morning, she would water her flowers while humming, noticing how the blooms appeared to dance in response to her happiness. As days passed, Annie observed a curious pattern. The more she sustained her natural cheerfulness, regardless of outer conditions, the more life rearranged itself to match her inner state. It was as though joy itself contained encoded instructions for reality to follow. This mirrors Tesla's revolutionary understanding that every physical structure begins with an energetic template. Just as he would meticulously draft his invention's blueprints before assembly, the universe responds to the energetic templates we create through our emotional states. Joy is not merely a response to life. It is life's architectural plan in motion. Your emotional frequency acts as a living blueprint, continuously instructing the quantum field how to arrange circumstances around you. When you maintain genuine joy, you transmit clear specifications for reality to follow. This is why forced positivity rarely works. The universe responds not to pretense, but to authentic vibration. Walking home one evening, Annie encountered an old friend who offered her an unexpected position at an art gallery, work that perfectly matched her interests. Within weeks, she found herself surrounded by kindred spirits who shared her enthusiasm for life. She hadn't actively sought these changes. They emerged naturally from the blueprint of her sustained joy. The universe operates through resonant patterns. Just as Tesla discovered that electrical systems seek harmonic equilibrium, your external reality continuously adjusts to match your inner emotional architecture. Joy is not the result of favorable circumstances. It is the template that calls those circumstances into being. Think of joy as the invisible scaffolding upon which your physical experience is built. Before a single brick is laid, the blueprint must exist. Your natural state of happiness is that blueprint, coding the instructions for manifestation. Ancient wisdom reminds us, as above, so below. Your inner state becomes your outer reality. When you choose joy before evidence of its justification appears, you engage the primary law of creation. Feeling precedes form. Practice. At some point today, laugh out loud for no reason and picture the universe laughing with you. This simple act of spontaneous laughter is a profound invitation to reconnect with the playful currents of existence. By laughing for no reason, you bypass the mind's habitual need for justification and step directly into joy. In that moment, the body releases tension, the chest opens, and a ripple of energy courses through your system, reminding you that delight is not conditional. It is a natural state waiting to be recognized. Even a brief, unrestrained laugh can reset your internal rhythm, aligning your inner vibration with the buoyant flow of life. As you picture the universe laughing with you, you expand this personal joy into a cosmic resonance. You begin to sense that the cosmos itself is not distant or impersonal, but responsive and playful. Each star, each wave, each particle becomes a participant in this shared laughter, reflecting back the joy you have allowed yourself to feel. This is a subtle yet powerful reminder that the boundaries between you and the world are more fluid than they seem. Your emotion and the universe's rhythm can harmonize in a single, joyful pulse. Repeated practice transforms this momentary release into a living frequency. Laughter becomes more than a reaction. It becomes a conscious act of co-creation. By laughing and envisioning the universe joining in, you cultivate a radiant presence that attracts synchronicity, lightness, and unspoken grace. In this way, a simple, reasonless laugh is not frivolous. It is an essential practice of embodiment, reminding you that joy is both your inheritance and your ongoing contribution to the vast unfolding of life. Chapter 26. From Particle to Wave Consciousness. Long ago, a merchant named Robbie measured his worth by counting coins each evening. His identity was anchored to numbers in ledgers, achievements listed in scrolls, and titles bestowed by others. Each morning he would wake feeling the weight of maintaining this solid self he had built. One day, while watching light dance on water, Robbie noticed how the sunbeams transformed the ripples into endless patterns of brilliance. In that moment, something within him shifted. He realized he had been living as though he were a fixed point, rather than flowing like the water before him. Just as Tesla discovered that energy moves in waves, your essence flows in patterns of infinite possibility. When you fix yourself into rigid definitions, you collapse the vast ocean of your potential into a single drop. The universe itself exists as probability waves until observed. Your consciousness holds similar power to exist in states of pure potential. You are not the static role you play, but the awareness watching the play unfold. Like light itself, you can manifest as both particle and wave, sometimes focused into specific form, other times flowing as pure potential. This understanding liberates you from the prison of fixed identity into the freedom of fluid being. In the bustling marketplace, an artist named Maya struggled to sell her paintings until she stopped defining herself as struggling artist. Instead, she allowed herself to flow like her paints, becoming one with the creative force rather than forcing herself to be what others expected. Soon her art began selling effortlessly, as though the universe responded to her newfound fluidity. This tale reflects your own journey. When you release rigid self-definitions, you allow life to move through you in unexpected ways. Your true power lies not in maintaining a fixed identity, but in flowing with the eternal dance of creation. The ancient practice whispered through generations teaches, "Become as starlight, existing everywhere and nowhere, being both presence and possibility. For in this state of quantum fluidity, all things become possible." Practice. In the depths of night, find a quiet space. Close your eyes and imagine your solid form dissolving into pure starlight. Feel yourself expanding, existing everywhere at once, limitless, fluid, free. Let your consciousness ripple outward like waves on an infinite ocean. In this state of pure potential, you transcend all boundaries of fixed identity. Remain here for several breaths, experiencing the freedom of being both wave and witness. When you imagine your form dissolving into starlight, you are performing a sacred unbinding. In that quiet, nocturnal moment, the edges of self soften, and the body's usual insistence on solidity loosens its grip. This is the practice of remembering your origin, light before form, essence before identity. As you drift into that vast inner constellation, you are not escaping the world, but re-entering its deeper truth. Everything you are is already woven from the same luminous fabric that threads the cosmos. As your awareness expands everywhere at once, you enter the felt sense of limitlessness, a state where consciousness is both fluid and sovereign. This is where the practice becomes transformative. By letting yourself ripple outward like waves on an infinite ocean, you momentarily transcend the habitual storylines that define you. Boundaries that once felt rigid, roles, expectations, even thoughts, become permeable. In this spaciousness, you begin to sense the subtle pulse of pure potential moving through you, a reminder that creation and recreation are always possible. Remaining in this boundless state for a few breaths invites a profound shift. You experience yourself as both wave and witness, motion and stillness, form and formlessness. This dual awareness is the quiet heart of the practice. It teaches that transcendence is not an escape from life, but an expansion into the fullness of what you already are. When you return to the world of form, you carry with you a new spaciousness, an inner freedom that subtly reshapes how you move, choose, and create long after the night has lifted. Chapter 27. The Sacred Technology of Joy. In the bustling marketplace, Josie carried within her a light that seemed to glow brighter with each passing day. While others exhausted themselves pursuing happiness, she discovered a remarkable truth. Joy itself was an endless wellspring. Like Tesla's dream of self-sustaining energy, Josie found that genuine happiness created its own momentum. Each morning she would begin with a simple smile, allowing it to ripple through her being. Soon, she noticed that this inner radiance attracted similar frequencies. Kind strangers, unexpected opportunities, and abundant blessings flowed naturally into her experience. The universe operates through cycles of energy, perpetually flowing and renewing itself. Your joy functions in the same way. It is not a finite resource to be rationed, but a divine current that multiplies through use. When you align with this truth, you tap into the infinite circuit of universal abundance. In Josie's work as a seamstress, she transformed her small shop into a sanctuary of delight. Customers who entered feeling burdened would leave carrying not just mended garments, but renewed spirits. Her laughter became a healing frequency that restored worn hearts just as her needle restored worn cloth. One particularly challenging season, when others closed their shops due to scarcity, Josie continued her practice of joy. While she had every logical reason to worry, she chose instead to amplify her inner light. Remarkably, her business not only survived but thrived. New customers appeared, resources multiplied, and opportunities expanded beyond measure. This illustrates a fundamental truth. Joy is the oil that keeps the machinery of manifestation running smoothly. When you maintain your frequency of happiness, you create a self-sustaining circuit of abundance. Like Tesla's wireless energy transmission, your joy radiates outward, touching countless lives before returning to you multiplied. Every smile you share, every laugh you release, becomes part of this divine circuitry. The universe mirrors back your inner state with mathematical precision. When you generate joy from within, independent of external circumstances, you activate a perpetual motion of prosperity. Sacred practice. Sit quietly and allow a genuine smile to spread across your face. Feel it expand until your entire being vibrates with joy. Observe how this feeling multiplies naturally, like sunlight dancing on water's surface. Let this radiance flow through you until you become a living generator of divine delight. This practice begins with the simplest of gestures, a smile, but its impact reaches far beyond the lips. By intentionally allowing a genuine smile to arise, you awaken a subtle current within your nervous system, a gentle signal that life is safe, abundant, and inviting. As you feel it expand through your face and chest, it touches the hidden chambers of your heart, stirring a warmth that radiates outward. In this quiet expansion, the body and mind recognize a profound truth. Joy is not something to be earned or achieved, but remembered and allowed. As the sensation grows, it naturally begins to ripple into your entire being. Thoughts soften, muscles release, and an internal vibration emerges, one that mirrors sunlight dancing on water, playful, luminous, and ever-shifting. This energy is contagious. It does not stay contained. The more fully you embody this radiance, the more it spills into your surroundings, gently influencing the atmosphere and those around you. What began as a small, conscious act becomes a force of generosity, silently reminding others of the possibility of joy in their own hearts. Over time, this simple daily practice transforms you into a conduit for divine delight. Your smile becomes more than a physical expression. It becomes a declaration of presence and vitality. Each expansion of joy is a reinforcement of your connection to life's abundance, a signal to the universe that happiness is not merely personal, but a shared current in which all may partake. By living this way, your very existence becomes a luminous generator, a radiant beacon of light and delight that echoes through every moment. Chapter 28. Recording Your Frequency. In a small study lined with leather-bound journals, Calvin discovered an extraordinary truth about the power of the written word. Each evening he would sit at his wooden desk and pour his thoughts onto paper, unaware that he was engaging in an ancient form of energy storage. One night, while reviewing his old entries, he noticed something remarkable. The words seemed to vibrate with their own luminescence. Events he had written about with certainty had manifested with uncanny precision. The universe, it seemed, read his journal as carefully as he did. The act of writing is far more than mere documentation. It is a sacred technology for imprinting consciousness onto the fabric of reality. When you inscribe your intentions with clarity and conviction, you are literally programming the universal field. Each stroke of your pen sends ripples through the quantum matrix, organizing energy into form. Tesla understood that information is never lost. It merely changes form. Similarly, your written words create permanent impressions in the cosmic database. These impressions become templates for physical manifestation, much like how binary code becomes visible programs on a computer screen. Calvin began experimenting with this knowledge, crafting precise statements of gratitude for future events as if they had already occurred. Soon, his notebook became a living prophecy. Opportunities appeared exactly as written. Relationships blossomed according to his entries, and successes unfolded as if reading from his script. In his work as a librarian, Calvin encountered an elderly scholar who shared an ancient saying, "The universe keeps its records in the ink of human intention." This wisdom illuminated why traditional spiritual practices often involved sacred texts and carefully chosen words. They were encoding reality itself. The power lies not in the quantity of words, but in their resonance with truth. A single sentence written from pure alignment carries more manifestation potential than volumes of hollow phrases. Your pen becomes a wand of creation when wielded with conscious awareness. Ancient practice. Write one line tonight, declaring your world complete. Then read it aloud into existence. Tonight, take a quiet moment and let your voice carry the declaration. My world is whole, radiant, and complete. Speaking this aloud is more than words. It is a ritual of recognition. As your breath forms each syllable, you are consciously folding together fragments of your day, your dreams, and your being into a single, luminous whole. The act affirms that nothing is missing, nothing is lacking. Every part of your life, seen and unseen, is acknowledged and honored. By reading it into existence, you are inviting the universe to mirror your declaration. Vibrations ripple outward, shaping the unseen currents around you, aligning events, encounters, and opportunities with the energy of completion. Over time, this nightly practice becomes a bridge between intention and manifestation, a quiet but profound way to live fully aware that your world is already complete, if only you declare it so. Chapter 29. Becoming the Transmission. In a small mountain village, Elsie spent years sending countless prayers skyward, believing that distance separated her from divine connection. Each morning, she would kneel before her window, whispering words into the dawn, hoping they would reach their celestial destination. Yet transformation remained elusive until she stumbled upon an ancient scroll that changed everything. The scroll spoke of Tesla's ultimate discovery, that energy and matter are one, that the observer and the observed cannot be separated. This revelation struck Elsie like lightning. She realized that for years she had been trying to transmit prayers across an imaginary divide that never existed. When you understand the universe's fundamental unity, prayer transforms from an action into a state of being. Just as Tesla discovered that all matter is energy in motion, your consciousness is not separate from the divine field it seeks to influence. You are already what you wish to become. This truth reveals itself in the silence between thoughts, in the space where doing dissolves into being. Here, manifestation requires no effort because you recognize yourself as the very force of creation. Your presence becomes a living prayer, your breath a constant communion with the infinite. The power of embodiment surpasses all techniques and methods. When you cease trying to reach outward and instead remember your innate divinity, the entire universe responds to your frequency. Like a tuning fork resonating with pure tone, your being naturally harmonizes all that surrounds it. One afternoon, Elsie was tending her garden when she encountered her neighbor Thomas, who had long suffered from anxiety. Without speaking a word, without attempting to heal or fix, she simply remained present in her newfound state of peace. Within moments, Thomas felt his worried thoughts begin to still. By simply being, Elsie had become a catalyst for transformation. This is the deepest teaching. You need not send energy anywhere because you are the energy itself. Your natural state is one of perfect alignment. Like Tesla's wireless transmission, your frequency broadcasts continuously, touching all it encounters with divine remembrance. Walk today as if every step broadcasts divine harmony into the ground. The universe moves through you, not to you. In recognizing this truth, you transcend the need for technique. Your presence becomes prayer incarnate, silent, effortless, complete. Chapter 30. The Never-Failing Prayer. In the depths of winter, a humble watchmaker named Hank spent his days repairing timepieces in a small workshop. Each mechanism revealed to him the precise dance of cause and effect, yet something deeper eluded his grasp. Though he understood the mechanics of manifestation, his prayers still felt like messages sent into a void. One evening, as golden sunlight filtered through his workshop window, Hank examined an intricate pocket watch. As he studied its perfect synchronicity, understanding dawned like the morning sun. The watch didn't send signals to itself to keep time. It was the embodiment of time itself. In that moment, he realized he had been approaching prayer as if he were separate from the divine process. The universal field holds no division between the one who prays and the prayer itself. When you step into this truth, you discover that you are not reaching out to touch the infinite. You are the infinite touching itself. Every thought, every intention, every prayer emerges from and returns to the same source, pure consciousness. In the month that followed, Hank ceased trying to send his desires outward. Instead, he simply rested in the knowing that his consciousness was already one with all creation. His workshop became a sanctuary where miracles unfolded with natural ease. Customers found their watches synchronized perfectly without adjustment. Solutions appeared before problems arose. The very air seemed charged with possibility. One afternoon, a young apprentice watched in amazement as Hank restored a seemingly irreparable timepiece without opening its case. "How did you do that?" the youth asked. Hank smiled. "I didn't do anything. I simply remembered that the perfect pattern already exists." This is the essence of the metaphysical prayer that never fails. The recognition that you are not separate from your desires or their fulfillment. You are the very field in which all possibilities exist. Tesla glimpsed this truth when he spoke of infinite energy. It was never about generating power, but about recognizing the unlimited nature of consciousness itself. Just as a wave cannot be separated from the ocean, your awareness cannot be divided from the infinite field of creation. When you pray, you are not broadcasting a request into space. You are the space in which the answer already exists. This is why true prayer never fails. It cannot fail, for it is not an action, but a recognition of what already is. Sacred practice. Upon waking each morning, whisper simply, "It is done," and feel creation respond instantly. This simple morning ritual is a powerful anchor for the mind and spirit. By whispering, "It is done," you are training yourself to acknowledge completion and alignment with the flow of life before the day has even begun. The phrase acts like a seal, signaling both to your consciousness and the deeper currents of the universe that intentions, rest, and renewal have been recognized. In these quiet first moments, your body and mind register a sense of closure and readiness, allowing you to step into the day without lingering fragments of yesterday's worries. Beyond the personal sense of calm, this practice also subtly shifts your energetic field. When you declare something as done, you are bypassing hesitation, doubt, and the pull of unfinished business. It is a recognition of your role as co-creator. The universe receives your affirmation and responds with its own rhythms. Even if imperceptibly at first, you may notice that situations begin to resolve more smoothly, tasks flow more easily, and moments of synchronicity appear, as if life itself mirrors your internal clarity. Repeated daily, this whisper becomes a gentle habit of conscious surrender and empowerment. It transforms the act of waking into a micro-ceremony of completion and receptivity. Over time, "It is done" ceases to be merely words and becomes a felt reality, a vibration that resonates with your entire being. Each morning, then, is no longer simply the start of a day, but a sacred recognition that creation, in its infinite wisdom, is perpetually responding to your conscious presence. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. Beyond methods, beyond mystery, lies simple knowing. You are frequencies of the infinite, broadcasting miracles when undistorted by doubt. Within this sacred realization, the metaphysical prayer which never fails emerges not as technique, but as remembrance of your true nature. Tesla's greatest discovery wasn't machinery powered by lightning, but humanity powered by consciousness. In his final papers, he whispered of a force more potent than electricity, the current of awareness itself. You are that current, that living broadcast of divine intention. Prayer does not plead with the cosmos, it tunes to it. When you align with this truth, you discover that every thought ripples through the universal field with perfect fidelity. Your consciousness is not separate from the power that moves worlds. It is that power expressing itself through unique form. Heaven and earth form a single circuitry, eternally exchanging light through thought, feeling, and faith. You are both the generator and the receiver, the prayer and its answer, the field and its manifestation. In this understanding, waiting dissolves. There is only harmonizing with what already is. When you pray now, you recognize that you're not sending messages outward, but allowing your frequency to match its highest potential. The field answers always in kind, always in perfection, because it is simply reflecting your own divine nature back to you. This is the ultimate secret hidden in plain sight. Prayer never fails because failure is impossible in a universe where you and the Source are one. Your every breath is the universe breathing. Your every thought is the cosmos contemplating itself. Your every prayer is creation singing its own song through you.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.